Hey there, everybody. It is Cindy Ingram here, and I am going to give you some more art teaching tips that you are sure to love and that your students are sure to love. Today, I'm going to share with you one of my all-time favorite art learning activities that my middle schoolers just cannot get enough of, and my high schoolers as well. They just eat it up, but I've also done it with elementary, and it is a super, super great time. So what it is sort of a drawing / description game. And I'm going to describe that to you, and I kind of share how I run it in my classroom, and really the students can't get enough of it. Every single time we do this activity, they beg to do it the next day and the next day and the next day. Like, they love it. So I'm going to put up an artwork that I have used with this activity on the screen. And this is Raoul Hausmann's Spirit of Our Time. It's a Dada sculpture. And I just happened to do this activity with this artwork last year because my students, my 7th graders, were studying Dada art. And I used this artwork as this activity as a warm-up into studying Dada. So, but you can do it anytime because it's just super fun. Now, what you do basically is you have the students sit at their tables, back or front or facing a partner. So depending on how your classroom is set up, you have, if you're in desks, you can have one person turn around, or or if you're at tables, they sit opposite on the table. But one student has to have their back to the artwork where they can't see it, and then the other student can see the artwork. Now, what happens is the one who can see the artwork then will describe it for the person who cannot see it. And then the person who cannot see it then has to draw it based on the description given by the person who can see it. And so it's really awesome because it forces the describer to look really carefully and closely at all the details, and it forces them to use language in a different way. So, for example, my students are mostly English language learners, and I had one situation where I had an artwork up on the screen that had a bunch of tea kettles in it, and they kind of morphed into trees. It was really weird. Surreal art is really good for this. It was this really weird painting with tea kettles and trees, and she was trying to describe what it was using the word tea kettle, but the person who was doing the drawing didn't know what a tea kettle was. She did not know that word. Hi, Anne, welcome. She didn't know what a tea kettle was. She never heard that word before. And so the person doing the describing then was like, well, I don't know what to do. She doesn't know what it means. And I was like, well, you're going to have to figure it out. Think about the shapes. Think about the lines you're seeing. Think about other ways to describe it that doesn't use the word tea kettle. And so it really forced her to use language and in a way that she's not used to. And it's a really great learning activity. And they don't know they're learning because they're having such a good time doing it. So you let them draw, until you walk around, until most groups have an artwork that looks somewhat like the one on the screen. And I've done these even with adults too. It's super fun. And then after a certain period of time, when everyone looks like they're about done, you have them all look up at the screen, and then they all laugh hysterically because it's such a treat to see kind of what you have been imagining in your head, and then you actually get to see it in person. So I'm going to show you some of the drawings that my students did of this artwork. I'm going to take this one off. Hi, Fiona. And so here my 7th graders did this. So you can see they're wide ranging. And then, I would walk through and they say, oh, we're done. I'm like, well, you didn't talk about that part of it or this part of it. And so you really force them to look at every single little thing. A lot of them would forget the little 22 thing that's plastered on his head. And so, you have to add up that. And you see one of them doesn't have the ruler. Oh, it does have the ruler. It's just very tiny. So, it forces them to talk about size and length and proportion. This thing is about 2 times the length of this thing. And so it really is a super fun activity, and it would be really good activity for the second day of school or even the first day of school if you get through your rules quick enough. And then usually in a 50-minute class period, we can get through each kid drawing 2 to 3 times, usually about 2. So, you have one kid draw, and then you switch, and then you pick a different artwork and you do it again, because they always want to do more. They don't want to stop at just one. Sometimes you have to and you want to move on to something else, but they always want to do it. And then they'll ask the next day to do it again. It's so fun. It's really fun to do at the art museum too. Just have them stand back to back as well. You can try that. So awesome activity. I cannot tell you enough how fun it is for everybody involved. So try it out. And if you do, I would love to hear how it goes. And if you're interested in more tips like this and art learning activities, you can join my email list at artcuratorforkids.com/list. And right now I'm in the middle of a promotion for my resource library for art teachers, which is, PowerPoints and worksheets and stuff like this for teachers to use in their classroom. So if you're interested in that, you can go to artcuratorforkids.com/join, or you can just join my email list. Check out my blog, artcuratorforkids.com, where I write about this kind of stuff. So that's all. Any questions? I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you for watching my quick art teaching tip. Try it out. Really try it out, because it is too fun. And also pick really weird artwork. Like, it works for normal artwork too, but like the weirder you find, the more funny it is for the students. They get such a kick out of the weird stuff. Like little clips of Garden of Earthly Delights, like finding little pieces of that. And so that one's really fun too, There's some really wacky stuff in there. So the weirder it gets, the more they kind of have to push themselves in their description. So there you go. That's my quick art teaching tip. Have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful start to your school year. I know I went back to work today, although my classroom wasn't ready. So I just was in a meeting for a couple hours, and then there was like a camp meeting in my classroom, and so I couldn't go in there. So I got to go home early. So thought I'd come on here. Okay. So wonderful day, wonderful school year. Talk to you soon. Bye.